Alright, we've got a new limited time series open, and it is for an older car, Lotus 311. So if you don't own this car, of course, limited time series, pretty easy way to pick up a new car. So I would say if you don't own it, and if you can afford the upgrades to meet the PR requirement, definitely go for it. And considering that this is an older car, you might be able to complete 25 or possibly even 50% of the limited time series without putting any gold upgrades on the car. We'll find out soon enough once I do the series overview video here. So and if you already own this car, you can win 25 gold for running through the series, assuming that you already have enough upgrades to meet the PR requirement of 73.8. So let's see, and the limited time, it's gonna be running through August 21st, next Wednesday. That is if you're on Eastern Hemisphere. In my case, I am on the western side, so we're running a day behind. So for me and the rest of us here on the western hemisphere, it'll be expiring the 20th, Tuesday of August. Alright, so now that's out of the way, let's jump in. Lotus 311 Championship. Earn a 2015 Lotus 311 by 100% completing this special limited time series. Balancing power and performance, the 311 is a worthy addition to Lotus' impressive lineup of production cars. Yes, speaking of cars, this car is worth 400 gold. And let's see, I believe this car is featured in just a single bonus series in Master's section called Open Sky Challenge 2. So it's not in the original Open Sky Challenge, which is not a bonus series, but a main career series, a big box series. This one's not in that one, since this was a later addition to the game. So, but I think if you want to, well, it's a bonus series, so if you want 100% completion, you need all the cars featured in this series, because they have showcase and time trials for specific car featured in the series, right? So yeah, anyway, we're here to talk about this limited time series, so let's do just that. So here is the reward breakdown based on 25% completion increment. So well, I mean, total is just 25 gold, so 25% completion gets you 3 gold, I know, and then 50% gets you extra 5, and then yeah, there isn't a whole lot of gold to be won here. But as I said, if you don't own this car, this is still gonna be the cheaper way to get it, I think. And it's a 15 tier series, yes, so for our purpose, let's use gold, get it done right away, and we'll confirm all the numbers, including PR requirement, whether it's really 73.8, and what kind of upgrades we're gonna have to put on this car. Yeah, Open Sky Challenge 2, that is a bonus series, as I said, featured in the Master section of your career. So we'll talk about that another time. But for this one, let's check the tier 15 last cup races at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix. What's the PR requirement? 73.8. Alright, so we can confirm that is accurate. Now let's see, we should have all 7 categories for this car. So we're base PR, we're starting with 57.3, and we need to bring it all the way up to 73.8. So that is some, oh goodness, some 16, about 16 PR point boost that we're gonna need. So yes, so we're gonna, well, we'll see how many racing dollar upgrades we have available on this car and how many we need for gold, right? So starting with engine upgrade, we got 1 hour racing dollar upgrade here. So hopefully, see, I don't remember exactly how these upgrades, like this car's upgrade tree was, but typically first tier upgrades are all racing dollars. But of course, we've had the exception with the new Porsche, right? The last or the first limited time series in the current version, where in tires and wheels category we had first tier gold upgrade, which was a bit of a surprise. Anyway, so far so good. All racing dollar upgrades, 1 hour wait time. R&D wait time, exhaust, brakes, and finally tires and wheels racing dollars. Yes. All right, so that's how that goes. All right, so first tier upgrades are all racing dollars. That's good to know. And let's get this done right away. We're starting at 57.3, brings PR up to 62 even. So that is the first tier upgrade, 7 upgrades. Let's check out if we have any more racing dollar upgrades available. Doesn't seem like it, at least not on engine. We got 18 gold for, at least it's not terribly expensive, right? Another 18 gold for drivetrain second tier upgrade, and body is 14 gold for second tier. Suspension is 16. Okay, so they're all in teens, so not terribly expensive, but of course we got 7 categories, so these will add up rather quickly. Brakes 12, tires, oh, I guess second tier upgrades are all gold. So and let's see, 25% completion gold reward was just 3, and obviously none of these upgrades are that cheap, meaning I hope 62 is PR 62 is gonna be more than what they're going to require for 25% completion, the tier 4, right? So all right, 62, we'll have to remember that number now. But for now, let's get these second tier upgrade. Ooh, it's third tier upgrade is gold as well, 2 in a row in engine. All right, how about drivetrain? Okay, more like normal here with the gold upgrade unlocking a racing dollar upgrade. All right, so we'll come back to that. And then the body, 14. Ooh, that one's got 2 gold upgrades in a row as well, and that will max out the body, doesn't it? Huh. Okay, let's go on to suspension. So that's a dead end upgrade. Maybe I should have waited on that one. All right, so we got 16 gold for suspension, and okay, that one does have a racing dollar upgrade following in the next tier. How about the exhaust? Ooh, and that's also gonna be a dead end upgrade there as well. How about brakes? Okay, that one's got the racing dollar upgrade following. And finally, tires and wheels, same as well there with the racing dollar upgrade following. So let's see how many categories have gold. Engine, not drivetrain, body, so 2 categories so far. And suspension, nope. Exhaust, yes, so that's 3 categories. Not brakes, not tires and wheels. So second tier is all gold, and then 3 out of 7 categories for third tier are gold upgrades. Yikes. So anyway, with the 14 upgrades on board, the 2 upgrades across the board, PR gets up to 66.7. So we need to get all the way up to 73.8. So that is 7.1 PR point. 7.1 from 1 tier upgrade. I don't think we're quite going to get there by getting 3 upgrades across the board. So here, let's get the racing dollar upgrades in third tier first of all, and see how far that gets us. Right? Body was not it. Suspension, yes. And by the way, third tier racing dollar upgrades are 4-hour R&D time. So brakes and tires and wheels, which is gonna get maxed out essentially. So let's see. I added 4 more upgrades, so that'll bring my upgrade to 18 out of 27 available, and that brings PR from 66.7 up to 69.3. Okay, so obviously that's still good ways away from the target of 73.8. So this is going to be a little bit more involved, isn't it? Brakes, we should have gold upgrade, but brakes typically don't give us a very high PR boost. Suspension, body was the gold on third tier, and drivetrain, well, considering there are quite a few upgrades left on the engine side of things, maybe we should try exploring that, right? So 28 gold. All right, and then that unlocks the next, that's the 4th tier now, right? Yes, 2nd and 3rd tier were gold. 4th tier is racing dollars, which has 8-hour R&D time. If we complete that right away, we are up to 70.5. All right, and then that's 65 gold. I'm hoping that unlocks the next tier upgrade, next tier racing dollar upgrade. That's what I meant. Because 65, let's see, let's compare with other upgrades. Like this one's 40, but it's a dead end, right? 22, not too bad. Suspension 38, okay, maybe. Exhaust 25, that's not too bad. Brakes 28, that's also not too bad, but as I said, some of these are dead end, you know what I mean? Unlike the engine, so we should really divide the engine upgrade into 2 separate, like it's 65, but you're getting essentially 2 upgrades for that cost if the next tier upgrade is racing dollars. So let's confirm that. And it is. And it takes 18 hours for that one. So okay, let's get that done right away. Brings my PR up to 71.7. And let's see, cheapest upgrades. Brakes are pretty cheap, 28. Exhaust 25, even cheaper because it is a 3rd tier upgrade, right? Not 4th. And then body, same thing. So let's get the cheaper upgrades first and see if we can reach the target of 73.8. So we'll add another 22 here, and that brings the PR up to 72.4, and get exhaust, and that's another 25 gold to bring the PR up to 73.2. all right, we need 0.6 more. Brakes, does that do it? 0.1 point shy. Okay, so we got the other two, right? Drivetrain or suspension is what we gotta examine. I think suspension's cheaper than drivetrain. Alright, and that does get us past 73.8, 73.9. Alright, so that's for 40 gold in drivetrain, or suspension is 38, and PR boost is the same. So I say suspension is cheaper way to go. So let's see how much I spent in gold upgrades here. Let's see, total gold is 287 gold, right? And then you'll get 25 of it back. So I guess you can say the net cost is 262 gold. I think that is the cheapest way to go, but let's see, I did overshoot the PR requirement. I mean, it's close, but I did. So I wonder if I went with maxing out brakes and drivetrain would gotten me to avoid engine upgrade, but drivetrain 40, brakes 28, so that's 68 combined, because I don't think one of them alone can get me there. And then engine upgrade was 65, which is actually 3 gold less than drivetrain and brakes combined at 68, right? 40 plus 28. So I think this is gonna be the best way to go. So max out pretty much every category except for drivetrain and brakes. Just get 3 upgrades of 4 available. So don't get the last upgrades on those 2 categories. I think it's the way to go. That's 25 out of 27 upgrades that you're gonna need. But here, let's check something real quick, shall we? I'm going to restore. So yada yada yada, and let's try this upgrade another path. Right, so we need to hit, what was the number again? 73.8, right? So we'll do, of course, first tier all the way across. They are racing dollars, no reason to not get them. I mean, I suppose if you cannot afford racing dollar upgrades, then you cannot get them, but easy to obtain, right, in the game. Alright, so let's get that first tier upgrades done, and let's try exploring maybe more traditional 3 upgrades across the board, right? Or in this case 4 upgrades across the board. And alright, and I believe this is gonna cost me more. 12, because well, let's see how how far this gets our PR up to. Right, it goes up to 72. All right, so now we have to figure out how we're gonna get extra 1.8. So we can get let's see, engine is the path that we took for 65 gold earlier, and then we had to get suspension regardless. Right, so let's get that done right away, and then contemplate how we can add 1.2 PR point here. So 28 and 40. Right, that was the other option. Does it actually work? Oh, look at that. That does get you exactly at 73.8. But you're still getting what, 25 of 27 available upgrades, and yeah, you're exactly you're meeting the PR requirements. So if you just want to win the car, I suppose 3 gold is kind of not a big deal one way or the other. This path is of course a little bit faster way to get the upgrades done, because there are more gold upgrades involved and it's only 3 gold difference. But you spend more gold, but your PR is going to be 0.1 point lower than if you were to have gone with the first upgrade tree, which is maxing out engine and not maxing out drivetrain and brakes. So if you ask me, I think it's, you know, not that big of a deal. It's your preference. Obviously, I think it's more advantageous to max out engine and get higher PR for less gold. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? So, all right, so that is that, and let's check out the series itself now. Yeah, 25 gold for 287 that you spend, or 290 that you spend on this car. Let's see. But is that about what you should be expecting to spend, right? Because the car's cost is 400 and reward is 25, so 425, divide that in half is like 210, right? 212.5 to be exact, right? Yeah, 280 is a bit higher. 290 is a bit higher than 210, 220. So all right, so my usual formula does not quite work as well in these older cars. It works better on the newer cars, even though they're kind of I don't know, they're trying to get us to pay more, I feel like, for the newer cars too. Inflation at work or something, right? Okay, so let's run through the series here just quickly, and we'll look for some, I don't know, difficult spots that might require some extra effort. Okay, so tier 1, speed record at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, elimination at Mount Panorama, cup at Red Bull Ring National, 3 laps. Okay, that's a higher lap count for tier 1, isn't it? All right, and then tier 2, we got head-to-head at Catalunya Club. That's a short circuit, single lap. And Hunter at Suzuka East. Okay, that's another short track. And then the second tier cup is at Silverstone National, another 3-lap National Cup. And this one has PR requirement of 59.9, so obviously you do need some of those first tier racing dollar upgrades done to get past tier 2. And then tier 3. Alright, we got autocross at Daytona, so that's always a long one. And endurance at dynamic circuit of Leipzig circuit, Porsche test track. So your distance, target distance, will depend on what kind of margin you win the previous events by, right? And then to wrap up tier 3, we got Cup at the Brickyard road course, 2 laps, and the PR required is 61.2. Alright, so remember, the racing dollar alone upgrades got us up to 62, so that's I guess depending on how we'll see. But start with speed snap first, which is going to be at Melbourne for tier 4, speed record at Monza road course, so that's a full lap. And then the cup is going to be at Berlin, 2 laps, and the PR requirement is 62.2. So that means I guess you cannot win you cannot even do 25% completion without with only racing dollars on this one. So that is unfortunate. Alright, well, I guess that means if you're in this series, you're in it to win it, so you'll be going all the way. Alright, so speaking of going all the way, let's check the next tier. Tier 5, we got Hunter at Spa, Autocross at Bugatti Circuit, and the Cup at Suzuka West, 2 laps. I feel like that'll be shorter than running 3 laps in national circuits, but maybe they're comparable, I don't know. PR record now up to 63.1. Yeah, I feel like they're really clamping down on players trying to win gold in the game. They want you to really spend the real money or something. I don't know. Alright, moving on. Tier 6, we got head-to-head at Dubai National, single lap. Elimination at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. And Cup at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit. Now we got 2 laps on this one. Alright, the PR requirement is 64 even. Alright, tier 7, we got Speed Snap at Hockenheim Short, Endurance at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, and the Cup is at Mazda Raceway, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 64.8. Alright, and then tier 8, we got Drag Race at Monza Road Course, a speed record at Red Bull Ring National, and the Cup is at Mount Panorama, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 65.6. Alright, so moving on to tier 9, we got elimination at Daytona Motorcycle Course and Autocross at Silverstone Grand Prix, Cup at Dubai Grand Prix, 2 laps, and the PR requirement is 66.4. Tier 10, Endurance at 24-hour circuit, Speed Snap at, once again, Dynamic Circuit, a Porsche test track, and then Cup is at Catalunya Grand Prix, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 67.2. Okay, moving on, tier 11, head-to-head at Suzuka Grand Prix, a single lap. And then we got Hunter at Hockenheim Grand Prix. Alright, full laps, huh? And then Cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix, 2 laps. Alright, so that's combined 4 laps of Grand Prix circuit in different parts of the world. PR requirement 68.5. But yeah, so that's tier 11 for you. Tier 12, speed record at Indianapolis road course, autocross at the National Circuit of the Americas, and Cup at Dynamic Circuit at a Porsche test track. We like to apparently race at the dynamic circuit with this car, I guess. That's a really short one, very technical circuit. We got 4 laps. And the PR requirement is 69.8. Alright, this car is pretty well suited for the track, I think. Alright, tier 13, we got elimination at Dubai Grand Prix, speed snap at Spa, and the cup at Melbourne. 5 laps, and the PR requirement is 71.1. And the penultimate, tier 14, we got head to head at Laguna Seca. Single lap, of course, and Hunter at the New Berlin circuit, and then Cup is gonna be at Brands Hatch, 7 laps, excuse me, and the PR requirement is 72.4. So no surprise tier with higher PR than the last one. That's good to know, right? And then finally, tier 15, the final tier, we got endurance at Red Bull Ring, Grand Prix, autocross at Hockenheim Grand Prix, and then finally the cup is at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix. 3 laps with the PR requirement, as we checked earlier, 73.8. So this one, I feel like there are quite a few speed events spread across the series that might require some extra servicing if you're planning on running without servicing the car. Let's see, like tier 13, elimination at Dubai. I don't know, this car, if it's gonna be fast enough. I think it should be 2.24 seconds to reach the first corner before the 20-second timer runs out, because that could be a challenge where, you know, I mean, I guess you'll find out soon enough whether you can do this unserviced, because, you know, if you get eliminated right away, then you know. But if you survive the first corner, generally you should be able to survive the rest of the elimination. So we'll see. And then speed snap at Spa. Well, if you train your bots, typically speed snap at Spa I think is doable even when your car is in critical condition. And then autocross is typically not a big deal, but tier 12, this late in the series, speed record at the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway can be a challenge, but it's a matter of would you rather service the car, or would you want to keep trying to bring down the target speed, right? Essentially bot training. So those would be some of the different options that you may have if you encounter any issues. If you don't, then hey, more power to you. Head to head, Hunter, those should be fine. And then we got speed snap at the dynamic circuit of Porsche Test Track, which should be pretty easy, I think. All speed target at Porsche Test Track I think are fairly manageable even when your car's in critical condition. And endurance, well, if you played your, you know, oh, look at that, I got some upgrades done on the McLaren. Okay, go away. That is for the weekly time trial, mind you. So I've got the 0 upgrade weekly time trial runs video coming up soon, but in the meantime, let's finish this one first. So anyway, back to what I was saying about this event. I don't think tier 11 is gonna be all that bad. Elimination at Daytona, once again, it's kind of similar to the Dubai elimination. If these cars are fast, I think these cars are fast enough that they will reach the first bend before the 20-second first elimination, you reach the first elimination timeout, right? So I think with this car, I think you should be able to survive eliminations. Let's see, autocross generally is fairly easy. Speed record at Red Bull Ring Tier 8. Drag race maybe might require a service. And now we're, this earlier stage, typically the target is lower as well. So, yeah, like Tier 4 speed record, you should have enough upgrades to kind of power through, I think. So anyway, that does it for the overview of this limited time series featuring Lotus 311. So yeah, hope you guys found the information useful. And as a review, the upgrade path, right? You're gonna need 25 upgrades on this car one way or another. One option is with the total cost of 287 gold, that is maxing out. That's the first upgrade path that I took, which is maxing out engine and not up maxing out, basically leaving the last upgrade open on drivetrain and brakes. That's one way to do it, and everything else has to be maxed out. Or you can go with this second option, which is 3 gold more expensive, and you get 0.1 PR less, but it's still enough to complete this series. So I don't see why you would go with the second option unless you don't like waiting for that final engine upgrade, racing dollar upgrade, that is. So alright, so good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, take care guys.